Hello and a good Monday morning to you, my tub-thumping lavender unicorn macaroons. Coffee cheers to you. My neighbor has decided to turn their front tree into wood chips this morning, so I'm sorry for that hacking noise. But it's just me, here to talk about so many stories. So it's our weekly reading book review plus movies this week because I actually took Saturday off. Be so proud of me. So coffee cheers to me. I needed a break. Okay. What I spent most of my week reading, I'm still not done with. This is my dear friend Haley's favorite book, The Knife of Never Letting Go. Her birthday was last week, so I found this at my local used bookstore and was reading it in her honor, and then I just couldn't take it, and I had to move on to middle grade, which we will talk about shortly. So this book is excellent. It's amazing. It's dystopian, but on another planet, and so good. Sometimes authors, if you've ever been to a seminar or just listen to an author speak, when they're talking about plotting their novel, they're like, okay, what's the worst thing that could happen to my character? This book does that at like every chapter, I feel like. So it's very propulsive, as they say. Things go wrong, and then you just think we're on a road trip, and then things get worse, and then they keep getting worse. So very entertaining, high adventure. I don't know what else to say about it. If you know my friend Haley, who is a rabid fan of the Morbidly Curious book club, you'll understand why she loves it. So I don't dislike it. It's just a lot, okay? So I had to put it down, and I will get back to it. But I have 2 books to finish for 2 different book clubs this week, so we'll get back to it, I promise, soon. Okay. I also read, and you guys voted on a quote for me to illuminate in my Shakespeare quote journal during my Brush Up Your Shakespeare 2025 quest, Henry IV Part 2. I read it. It was great. It had a lot, it took a little bit to find decent quotes because even as the prologue says in the beginning, we're just trying to get to the end where Henry's king and waiting for Henry IV to die. So that happens. The people trying to overtake him are like, oops, sorry. And then Falstaff isn't as forgiven as he thought he would be. And there's a lot of body humor irrelevant to the plot. But there were some good lines. Thank you for voting. Literally like one vote pushed the tide over to the one that was the winner. And so whatever. There were 3 super great ones, all relevant. I will at least do one of them this week. Fingers crossed. Okay, the middle grade I went to when I just couldn't take it anymore for Knife of Never Letting Go. That's fun to say. Knife of Never Letting Go. Fun. Anyway, so last week I showed you The Beast and the Bethany. I went to the bookstore and I bought number 2. There are 5 out in the UK because Britain gets all the good stuff. Not really, but they have all 5. We have 3 out, but 3 still in hardcover. Number 2, in paperback, because you know I love the middle grade paperback. It's just my favorite thing in the world. This is The Beast and Bethany, Book 2, Revenge of the Beast. And so, as an audience, we kind of know what the problem is. Characters don't figure it out till midpoint. Things happen. It's still great. I loved the first one. This was also excellently illustrated and a delightful read aloud. The characters I adore, but definitely start with the first one, otherwise you'll have no idea what's happening here. Okay. Also, pardon me while I set these down because more books. I read a bunch of picture books on my day off because I get to do that. So these are ones that I found again at my used bookstore that either I remembered from my childhood or I was familiar with the author or illustrator, or just picked them up because they were like $1.50 and I thought they'd make good presents for nieces and nephews in the future. So Stone Soup brought back so many memories. Weekly Reader books. Anybody else, elder millennial here, remember Weekly Reader? Do you see Weekly Reader? I had the tote bag, everything. I love Stone Soup, so good. Glad that's back in my collection. 5 Little Penguins Slipping on the Ice. It's kind of like 5 little monkeys jumping on the bed, but this is penguins, super cute. This one, Finn, you don't watch my Instagram, so it's fine. My little nephew Finn will be getting this for his birthday. There was an old dragon who swallowed a knight, and it's the same cadence as There Was an Old Lady Who Swallowed a Fly. Cute illustrations. Also, I'm pretty sure this guy had a lot to do with the How to Train Your Dragon because the eyebrows are just giving me the same vibe. So this is illustrated by Ben Mantle. I haven't watched the credits of How to Train Your Dragon recently, but I'm pretty sure he must have been involved in character design. Also, Fred Marcelino's Puss in Boots, so beautiful. I can't believe I didn't own a copy of this, but just stunning, stunning. They look like a colored pencil on like textured paper. Just so subtle, so intricate, lovely. I also adore, here's my new fascination, the titles on the back. Like, the illustration is a wraparound. The cover is just the image, and of course, Caldecott honor sticker, and then the titles on the back. It's amazing. So, okay. Also, side note, but relevant to this, I started listening because they just dropped the first 2 episodes. Soman, Chainani, and Victoria Aveyard's new podcast, Plot Twist, and the Soman is on cover number 32 for his new book coming out next year, and he of course just wanted a blank cover, solid color, but maybe Soman, you get to put an image and title on the back, make it iconic, would you? Okay, as you should. Anyway, and then I also found Goldilocks and the Three Bears by master of hilarity of the 80s, James Marshall. And I just need to show you real quick. I know we're not necessarily a picture book reviewer here, but Goldilocks' evil little mischievous eyeballs there, I don't know, can you see them? They're just funny and so subtle, so clever. I love it. Okay, Goldilocks, hooray! Okay, coffee cheers, refresh yourself, because we have more to talk about. Okay, currently reading, for my first book club of the week, this is Live and Let Shy by Bree Baker. For this month, for June, we only had a few weeks in between our book club meetings, and so I said, bring a cozy fantasy or a cozy mystery. And this one won our vote because we're democratic that way, and I am loving it. I stayed up last night for an extra hour, got to page 80, and it's just fun. It's a small beachside town. She just opened a sweet shop. She lives in this cool historical house. So the bottom is her tea shop and on the beach, and then the top 2 floors are a historical home that needs renovating. And she finds a guy that's been coming in bugging her for her family secret iced tea recipes, dead in the marsh outside at night after she accidentally whistled at a new hot cop in town, the detective, and things happen. So it's just enjoyable. It's just enjoyable, and boy, did I need that. So thank you, person who brought this to book club for us to vote on, because I needed it, especially after The Knife of Never Letting Go, looking at you, Haley. Anyway, so loving this. It's grown up, but there's no content because it's cozy so far. I'll let you know if they kiss later. Okay, also for Evelyn Skye's Substack, Creative Inspired Happy podcast / Substack / all the things that Evelyn is, Remarkably Bright Creatures. Many of you had read it. I think 80% of my book club had already read it. My first book club, I was trying to do double duty and bring this one, but they'd already read it. So I have to read this by Sunday. This is by Shelby Van Pelt. Something about an old lady and an octopus at an aquarium. That's what I know. It's also shiny, and the paperback came with stained edges. Could have spent more time on that, but that's just me being picky. But it's pretty. It's pretty, and nice textured paper cover and dented shiny font. So we're into that, and I've heard good things. Also sounds sad, but I think we can handle it. Okay, also, my friend Rhea, she's a librarian, and she knows me, and she loves me. She got me this for my birthday, and I said I'd read it next, but again, book club books got in the way. But this is Words with Wings and Magic Things, and I finally wrote my thank you note to her, so now I'm allowed to read it. This is Poems by Matthew Burgess, pictures by Doug Salati, who I think won the Caldecott maybe last year, something about a dog on the beach. I don't know. But this is so lovely. Maybe I show it to you. I didn't show it to you last week because I kept screaming about how I like accessible poetry. But this week, I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it maybe after I finish the chai book and the tea. So pretty. Loving that. And, you know, I am scared of Bigfoot. It was one of my greatest fears in the world. And you'd think I'd be scared of the Yeti, but I'm not, because I love that Himalayan ride at Animal Kingdom Disney. Anyway, look at this funny guy. I think I can handle it. I don't think he's gonna give me nightmares. I'm excited. Okay. I told you that I took Saturday off, and so I stayed on the couch watching movies, and it was so good. Earlier in the week, I watched Anchors Aweigh, because reasons, and Gene Kelly, and reasons, and it's when he dances with Jerry, the little mouse. And of course, I listened to some of the bonus features, and Gene Kelly and the director, I don't think it's Vincent Minnelli, Stanley Donen, collaborated. They went to Walt Disney to say, can we do Mickey? And of course, Walt said, Mickey, an MGM film? No. So they went Tom and Jerry. Anyway, so he dances with a cartoon. And so, you know how I love, Dick Van Dyke, Mary Poppins, the Penguins, all of that. They do that. And it's Navy. And I used to get it confused with On the Town, but this was very different. believe it or not. Also because it's in San Diego and not New York City, so that helps. Also Frank Sinatra and whatever. They stop and sing a lot, and she has a really high-pitched voice, but I do love an old musical, and go Navy. Also, my friend Ruthie lent me Sweeney Todd weeks ago, and I hadn't gotten to finish it, so I watched Act 2. Nathan, my husband, came in and he's like, are they eating people? It's like, a little bit. So also, there was a lot of songs I didn't know were from this that are in like our collective pop culture consciousness. I just lost it. I want to say Roberta. That's not it. Joanna. That's from Sweeney Todd. And the, not Someone to Watch Over You, but the As Long as I'm Here, Nothing's Gonna Harm You. That one's from Sweeney Todd. Who knew? Well, now I do. And most of you probably did if you're Broadway nerds. I'm working on it, trying to learn. I also got this one because Paris and Reasons. This was sadder than I thought. You know, the cover looks like MGM musical. It was made around the same time as An American in Paris, but this is the last time I saw Paris. It's got Elizabeth Taylor, who, yeah, she's beautiful. Van Johnson, Donna Reed is stunning. It was just sad, and no one sang or danced, or there was nothing happy about it. And then, spoiler alert, I watched the new Disney Snow White. I have so many feelings. We're already at 11 minutes. I'm sorry for babbling, but so I have feelings. So this is the original 1937 animated classic. I was pleasantly surprised with the live action. Started out a little wonky. I thought, okay, we're at Once Upon a Time level of special effects and sets that felt like just CGI'd laid in. It got stronger. Pasek and Paul's music was amazing. If you like the of Greatest Showman, you will like the opening number. And Waiting on a Wish is a beautiful ballad. And so music was great. Costumes by Sandy Powell are amazing, especially Snow White's dress. I want it so bad. And the villagers, just textures and colors and layers of their clothing were great. And I love Snow White and the Prince, and I have feelings on CGI very strong about the 7 small men she lives with. I know we didn't call them dwarves because politically correctness, and so just hire short actors or something, or make them as cartoony as the forest animals, or, you know, just don't remake a live action cartoon that was a cartoon for a reason in the first place. So some of their pratfalls were a little annoying, and the animated classic has a lot more classy silent film humor for the dwarves, and this one felt a little tacky, but I did love their cottage and the music, and I did not mind the rewrite of the fairy tale, and I said I wasn't going to get into it, but we can talk about it later, okay? Okay, so I watched the new Snow White, yeah? Okay, I'm going to get back to more coffee and more books and spend some time in the studio and a few errands today, and I should probably read that books for book club, right? So let me know what stories you're reading, loving, enjoying, and I will rewatch Snow White again this week just to and make my husband watch it and see if I was wrong about it not being as bad as everybody said. Okay, fair. All right, coffee cheers to you. We'll catch you later. Love much and enjoy this beautiful, sunny, loud, noisy Monday. Okay? Bye, guys.